Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews. We've got more news today, so as always, let's get straight to it. First of all, thank you goes out to Paleo Figures for this information, but we have a look at some more of the upcoming Kickstarter figures for Mesozoic Life, as we not only have this Carnotaurus, which we now see some information on as well as more images, but we also have another version of the Spinosaurus coming, which is pretty intriguing, and I think this one looks really cool and would definitely be a nice companion piece to go with the, original version of the Spinosaurus that had come out from Mesozoic Life. So definitely looking forward to these. On top of that, we also have some new Pop Funkos. A thank you has to go out to David Solano for these images, but looks like we've got more of those kind of mini Pop Funko figures as well as like keychains and stuff. Quite a bit coming out as far as these go. I definitely would like to get my hands on some of them. I think they look pretty cool, especially the Utahraptor. I really quite like him. But definitely some more fun stuff coming from Pop Funko. On top of that, there are some new models, I guess, coming from a company called Eterna 9. I've never heard of them before, but I stumbled upon this very interesting Styracosaurus on Big Bad Toy Store that was up for pre-order, and I thought it looked pretty neat, and, maybe not quite your most accurate and most impressive Styracosaurus ever. It's very clearly a sort of exaggerated version with some creative liberties taken, but I think it looks pretty fun. It almost feels like something that you would find in Disney's Dinosaur, sort of, if it were like a little bit more realistic looking, but again, pretty neat looking. I thought it was cool enough to show you guys, so if you are interested, head on over to Big Bad Toy Store and get your pre-order in. Then when it comes to Mattel, and a thank you has to go out to Jurassic Addict 1993 as well as Dino Mike Mac for sharing these images with me, but first of all, we have a look at some new basic figures. It looks as though we're actually going to get quite a few, as you can see from this image, which shows off a new T-Rex, a Spinosaurus, a Mosasaurus, and a Quetzalcoatlus, which is actually pretty exciting because, we never had a 12-inch basic version of the T-Rex, and I'm definitely excited to see that. Same goes again for like the Quetzalcoatlus or the Mosasaurus. So not everybody's favorite line, but I'm definitely excited to see these figures when they do eventually release. We've also got this image, which is basically confirming some of the species that we may have been wondering about. Of course, the Monolophosaurus. The Euxiosaurus is actually kind of funny because I saw a tag recently at Walmart about it and posted on my Instagram about that figure, and the fact that we never got it, but apparently we are still going to get it. And then we also have the Inostrancevia, which we can see over here, which is super exciting. I absolutely love the fact that that figure is now going to be included in the Mattel line, and it's a little hard to really tell and appreciate how nice the figure is, but I think it looks super cool from this image. Then we also have a new mighty little biter coming, thanks to Plush Boy Q for sending me this image. You can see we are getting a Carnotaurus finally, and I know I say finally as the line hasn't really been out that long, but Carnotaurus should always be your first pick. But anyway, we are getting a Carno, which is super exciting. Again, I would love to see more paint application added to these. They are just so lackluster when it comes to the paint. I don't know why, but it is still a pretty fun looking figure, just definitely needs more paint application. And then a huge thank you goes out to Collect Jurassic as always for these images, but we have some new images for the upcoming Wild Roar assortment. First of all, we have the Nasutoceratops, and it's our first chance, I think, to really get a good look not only at the new sculpt but the new colors, which the colors are pretty basic. They didn't really go all out when it comes to the coloration of this one, and because the colors are so basic, I feel like they really could have applied more paint running out onto the tail on this one, and it could have made it look pretty darn nice, whereas they chose to, of course, cut the color off about halfway through or maybe heading toward 3/4, but it is what it is. It still looks neat. I just, really would have liked more paint application on it. We do also have the Maiasaura, and this one I think looks really, really fun. Definitely a great species choice. The coloration on it looks pretty cool. Not incredible, but decent enough, and I'm just generally excited to have this species entering the Mattel line and giving us another chance to actually have a figure of a Maiasaura. I think this might be the first time that I've ever had one that actually would feature articulation as well, which is pretty cool. Then we've also got the Baryonyx, which that Baryonyx, again, might be one of the best looking versions of a Baryonyx to come from Mattel so far. It looks like it kind of features parts of the kind of Epic Attack version that we had, with new updates and stuff, a longer tail and everything. And color-wise, it's not incredible. I think it looks pretty nice as far as the colors go, but the sculpt is basically what I'm most most impressed with, again, most happy with. I think it looks really, really cool. And then the one that may be the most anticipated overall, we also have the Utahraptor here, and a whole bunch of images of that one shows off just how gorgeous this figure is. I think the sculpt is absolutely phenomenal for the Utahraptor. The colors as well are pretty cool. I really quite like the color scheme. And the way it's applied, definitely making all of those feathers jump out at you. But this is definitely one of, again, my most anticipated figures for the upcoming Mattel Jurassic World Rebirth line, no doubt about that. So as of right now, guys, that's all the news I've got. When more comes out, I'll be sure to send it your way. But until then, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.